Hello, this is to assist and help you with making VA foreclosure offers. Okay, so traditional offers, you're just going to refer to the other videos that we've done, also your notebook as far as how to make those offers, the appropriate documents to include, things of that nature. But specifically want to make some videos regarding foreclosures. This first one's going to be VA foreclosures. So first, for those who don't know, this is the MLS for Sabor, San Antonio area. So let me first tell you how to find a VA foreclosure. So you're going to click on search. Okay, you're going to come down to, you're going to scroll down to miscellaneous. And you're going to scroll all the way down until you see VA foreclosures. This is the quickest way. There's several ways to search for VA foreclosures. That's just the quickest way. Okay, that's pretty much it. VA foreclosures, and then you can put whatever the criteria you want if you're looking for a VA foreclosure. So I just need to find one for the example. So let's just do 100,000 to 130. See how many pop up. Okay, cool. One popped up. So let's see. Okay, so this is a VA foreclosure, and you know it's a VA foreclosure because over here it says owner, and with owner it says Secretary of Veteran Affairs, or it'll say uh, Department of VA, something regarding Veteran Affairs, VA, something like that. Okay. Also, in the edge of remarks, you'll see something that says like something like this: VA owned property as is only. Now, just so you know, VA is one of the few foreclosures where they say stuff like this. Uh, Seller does not pay customary closing costs, including title policy, survey, escrow, transfer fees. Okay. Other foreclosures, they're willing to pay for their own transfer fee. Some are willing to pay for surveys, depending on how you negotiate. But VAs, they pretty much tell you up front that they're not. So on foreclosures, you always want to make sure you read the age remarks in full. Also, make sure you read these remarks in full, because look, it says here, highest and best offer by October 24th. Today's actually the 22nd, so at least you know what your deadline is. And if you scroll up, here's additional information. Okay, so VA foreclosures is one of the few foreclosures where we do not use a typical TREC or TAR 1-to-4 contract, meaning the paperwork that we use for VA foreclosures won't come from zip forms. Okay, it's pretty much going to come from clicking on additional information, and they already have the forms that they want us to use. Okay, for VA. So the first one that you're going to click on is so typically the mindset is you're going to want to download all these forms. You're going to want to save them in the Dropbox file. You're going to want to upload them into zip forms so that you can fill them out and send them off for signatures. Okay. So the first thing I do on a VA foreclosure is I copy and paste the address. Okay. So I can create the folder. Now I'm going to go ahead and put it in Dropbox. Client file. Let's say it's a buyer of mine. And I'm going to just pick, like I said, it's not going to be a real offer, but I'm going to just pick a buyer and we'll create a file for them. Actually go down. Yeah. Click offers. Okay, so we'll just do a folder real quick for this. Okay. So I just created the folder. I'm going to open it up, and this is where I'm going to put all the documents for this VA foreclosure. Okay, so let me open the first one is offer submission form. Okay, now I don't really want to try to just save this one. I want to go ahead a step further and download the actual document so I can actually fill it in, because a lot of times they'll be fillable, and so I want to go ahead and just download it so I can start filling things in. See how it's fillable? Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and save this one. Save as. Okay. I'm going to just find my file wherever I saved it. Find my folder. Okay, so I'm gonna save it here, and I'm gonna save it as what did it say? Offer submission. Offer submission. Submission form for this property. So I typically always do what what the document is dash the property address, and the reason for that is it's a clear way to label um, things so that whether I'm emailing it to someone else, whether I'm saving it for myself, it's always clear what property we're talking about and what document this is. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and just minimize that for now. I'm gonna close this out. Let's see. Let's start downloading the other one. So let's download the seller's disclosure. Okay. Okay. See, now let's see this one. Let's see if this one's fillable or not. So this one's not fillable. The other one was an offer submission form, so they made it fillable. So this is why we want to save this document, upload it in the zip form, so we can fill it out with zip form for DocuSign. All I'm doing right now is just saving the documents in the folder. This was the seller's disclosure. Okay. That. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm gonna minimize that. I'm sorry. I'm gonna close this one. Let's see what this one is. So this is a form. Okay, so this is a form by the brokerage or the listing agent. Just asking us to fill this out so they have this information up front. Doesn't look like it's fillable. So again, we're going to save it into the file so we can upload it into the forms and fill it out. What is this called? Offer submission instructions. Okay. So we'll just say offer instructions. Okay. Minimize that. Close that. Got one more. This is a multiple offer disclosure form, just basically asking us to fill it out. I think that we understand that the deals are multiple offers. Doesn't look like this is fillable. So again, download, upload the zip forms. Okay. So I believe that's all my forms. Download everything here. So I'm ready to go. Okay. So next I'm gonna go to so the first thing I'm gonna do is the offer submission form, or basically let's just call this the VA contract, the VA offer. This is fillable. So I actually want to fill this out and save it in Dropbox before I upload it into zip forms. Okay, so here it's asking for the address. Let's see what the zip code is. Zip code is here. Okay, so I'm gonna go pretty quick, but you can always pause, rewind, do what you need to. Okay, so here's just asking for, what property are we talking about? What's looking to be purchased, right? Let's see. Next 2A, it's saying what's the name of the purchaser. Okay, so most of the time for foreclosures, we're going to be, not all the time, the majority of the time, we're going to be making offers for investors. So either the investor is going to be making an offer based on, like making an offer in their personal name, okay? Or they're going to be making an offer based on their company name. So as you see here, our client's personal name is Jorge Garcia, but the company name that he buys his properties in is Select Trailers Sales LLC. Okay, so if they don't have a company that they're purchasing in, you're just going to put, in this case, Jorge Garcia. But since he purchases properties with Select Trailers Sales LLC, that's the name we're going to use. Okay. Now it's real small in the beginning because they don't know what you're going to type. But once you tab out, then it gets big. Okay. It says address of the purchaser. Okay. So here's where we put the address. Now you'll know this information because it'll be an offer form, or we'll have an out about you, or you can check the CRM in the system. Right now we'll just put 123 Main Street. Okay. Home phone number for the person, we'll just put 210-123-4567. Okay. This is if you have a second person, maybe a husband and wife kind of situation. Let's see. State exact name in which title is to be conveyed. Okay. So again, it would be Jorge Garcia. If it was his personal, but in this case it's not. It's going to be Select Trailers Sales LLC. And this is very important. You always want to make sure this is correct, because let's say I just put Select Trailers Sales, that's it. There would be a problem and an issue later, and it could jeopardize the deal if title company said, well, there's no such Select Trailers Sales, there's Select Trailers Sales LLC. We need to do an amendment to the contract. And the bank or the VA foreclosure in this instance was like, no, we're not changing anything. They said Select Trailer Sales. So as weird as it sounds, as simple as it sounds to change, it can be a big hurdle sometimes. So anyway, you want to make sure this is correct, that this is the correct title that they want to take, that they want on the deed to the house to be. Do you plan to occupy the property? Most of the time for VA foreclosure, we're going to say no if it's an investor. We'll say yes if it's a buyer and they're going to live there. Okay. For the most part, on the VA loan, we're going to check no for all of these. This basically just asks. It's like basically, is the property being purchased directly or indirectly by any of the following persons? So basically, VA loans, VA or most foreclosures, they don't like people who have the inside track, the people that are associated with them, to buy their own property. So let's say you work for the VA, or let's say you lived with the property before, or something like that. They don't really want you buying it. So for the most part, for our clients, we're just going to check no on everything. You can definitely ask these questions. You definitely want to ask these questions. If you don't know, if you're an agent, you should ask your client these once and know. If you're a transaction coordinator or admin person, you just want to ask your agent what they want you to put in this area. Okay, now here's where you want to make sure you take some notes. Okay, if your client is making a conventional, if your client is making a loan from a bank, is making an offer based on a loan from a bank, or they're using a hard money loan, they're making a term offer, meaning their offer has terms. There's terms to their offer. They're putting a certain amount of money down. They're borrowing a certain amount of money to be able to buy the property. Okay. If your client or the buyer is making a cash offer, meaning they're buying the property cash, there's no other bank involved. They can take there could be a retirement account company or something like that. But the buyer's going to take money out cash, have it wired, and there's no, once the buyer, basically after closing date, does the buyer own the property and that's it? Or are they making payments to someone? That's what it really comes down to. Does the buyer own the property outright after the closing date? You know, and there's no one looking over their shoulders, or are they making payments to someone? If there's no one looking over their shoulder, it's a cash offer. If there's payments they're going to make to someone, then it's over here. Okay, and this could be a conventional loan investor deal. This could be a VA investor deal. This can be FHA in some cases, and this can be hard money loan. Okay. So let's say that it was a cash offer, okay, and let's go back. This property is listed for $100,000, okay. So let's say we're offering $80,000, right? So offer price, the total offer price is going to be $80,000, okay. This, just like in the other video with the 1-to-4 contract, this is where we would be asking or negotiating for the seller to give us money from their profit to go towards the buyer's closing costs. In this case, we're going to say 0 since it's a cash offer. This says net sales price, so basically saying item A minus item B. Basically, they want to know, okay, yeah, you're offering 80, but if you ask us for $5,000 towards your closing costs, really, it's an offer to us for $75,000. Like, they just want to know, like, what's our net, okay? But since we did 0, then our offer is, $80,000. Okay. They want to know what's the commission, going to be to the sales agent, to the listing agent. Let's go over here. When are they paying commission? So here it shows they're paying a 3% commission. Okay. So you're going to do 3%. So we'll do 3% of, so we'll do 80,000 times 0.03 because it's 3%. 2,400. So the sales agent, they're paying 2,400. Now, here's what's tricky sometimes. A lot of times, and I think technically you're supposed to go ahead and put the same for the listing agent. Okay? And then if you minus it, right? So it's 80,000 because on E they want you to do item C, which is 80,000 here, minus D. Okay, so what some people do is they do 8,000 minus 2,400, and then they minus the listing agent's 2,400, so 7,500. I don't do that, and I know what this says, but I'm just telling you what some people do. It makes it look less. They're not asking us to calculate the listing agent's number, because here's the truth: they might be only paying the listing agent $1,000. They might be paying them $3,000. They might be paying them $10,000, or they might be paying them $1,500. We don't know, right? So it's just asking us to minus item D. So you're going to want to do the 80,000 minus 2,400. 77,600. Make sure that's right. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so that's how you fill out the cash offer. Then it says purchaser agrees to close within blank days after the offer accepted. So this is different. In the 1-to-4 contract, we actually select a date. This says how many days you want to close on. The reason for that is I think VA does this because the VA, because it's an entity, there's different departments, they take a little bit longer to sign documents. They want to review some documents before closing. So they don't want a particular day. They know that because it's a foreclosure, the majority of their deals, are going to close based on the amount of day. Basically, majority of the deals are going to close with an investor, and they just want to know how much time does the investor need to close on the deal. Okay, they'll they'll determine the date later because let me say it this way: they don't want to promise. They don't want an investor to say, "Oh, we'll close 2 Fridays from now," so 2 weeks on Friday, because the VA might take a week to sign all the paperwork, and then that's not enough time to close the deal. So you got to change the closing date. So right now, they just want to know, well, how much time do you need? You know, so typically, if we are making a cash offer for an investor, you're going to want to ask your client when they would like to close. But typically, for our cash guys that want their offers to be more attractive, we always want to use 3 weeks. So typically, we'll say 21 days. Okay. Then we'll put earnest money. So depending on your area and things of that nature, it can be 1,000. Okay, but typically, to be more attractive for investors, cash will use 2,000 as the earnest money. Okay. Then you will just fill this out. It's pretty. I mean, well, this will be in zip forms, DocuSign. This is where you sign, the date. This is where you put in the brokerage name. So you know, for one of our brokerages would be Texas Premier Realty. And also as for the address, 191 down Parkway. Okay, San Antonio, 78239. Name of principal broker, Daryl Zip. In our case, soon this will be Adam Odurumi. Name of salesperson, Adam Odurumi. Phone number. You put. Usually, you want to put the cell phone number of the agent. Okay. And the signature of the principal broker or authorized representative. So this will be the signature of me or Daryl Zip. Okay, and the date signed. Okay. Let's see here. So look, this goes further. It says closing date. The closing date shall occur on or before. So you're like, well, why is it tell me to put a closing date here? You don't have to. Okay. You can put a date if you want, but they can change it. All right. So you can leave it blank. You can fill it in. It's pretty much up to you. Okay. But this is the whole contract. Like this is the offer part. This is more of the contract part. Okay. So again, it says offer form because they're basically saying like you don't need to, you know, necessarily fill it out right now. Okay. If my person is using hard money, just so you know, hard money, this wants you to click like what type of financing they're using if they're using financing. Okay. So this would be like, a regular conventional loan. This would be like a hard money loan in FHA, VA, USDA. We're asking for closing costs. See, they're not really asking you to fill it out. Okay. So again, this part, do you need to fill it out? Not necessarily. Now, once we agree to terms, we want to make sure that this part is filled out correctly. Okay, but they're going to fill this out based on this part and what we agreed to. Okay, so that was cash. So let's change it. Let's do a finance offer. Okay, so let's say it's going to be a person using a hard money loan. Okay, so we select term offer, offer price, 80,000. Okay, are we asking says buyer closing costs paid for by seller. We're going to give me 0. That sales price, 80,000. Now again, if you're using like a VA or FHA loan, you might put something there. But again, if you read going back to the MLS, what did it say here? Seller does not pay customary closing costs. If you don't believe them, you can try. Actually, don't. Just waste your time. Okay. Now, they want to know what the commission was. We already know it's 2,400. Okay. They want to know the 80,000 minus the 2,400, which was 76. Right, 76,600. Okay. Now here's the difference. Down payment. Okay. So again, remember, if it's FHA, it's going to be 3.5%. So if it's 80,000, it's 0.035. Sorry. Times 3.5%. There we go. Okay, I was like, what am I doing wrong? So 80,000 times 0.035. That's 3.5%. That's your down payment for FHA loan. If it's a conventional loan, it's 5%. 4,000. Okay. And if it's an investor loan or a hard money loan, just say 20%. 16,000. Okay. So down payment's gonna be 16,000. Okay. Then they want to know what's the amount that's gonna be financed, just like the other contract. So you're gonna do 80,000 minus the down payment, which is 16,000. So 64,000 what's gonna be financed. Okay. They want to know what the interest rate is. Now, do we know exactly what the interest rate is going to be? Because interest rates change every week, and the buyer does have the opportunity to try to give more money to the bank to get a lower interest rate and things of that nature. So what we're going to want to do is just put a general interest rate number based on what we know today, just a little higher. So if we know it, so basically, you just want to, you pretty much just want to ask your agent. But typically, what we're doing right now is just putting 5%. Okay. Number of years, we'll just say 30. Okay. And then monthly P&I payment, we'll just leave that blank. Okay. Because, I mean, you can fill that out if you want, but just to be honest, they're not really looking at that. They're really pretty much looking at everything until about here. Okay. Earnest money, same thing. Everything else is pretty self-explanatory. Okay, so then what you're going to do is you're going to save it now that you filled it out. You're going to save and replace the previous one that you had. Okay, so offer instruction submission form, I'm going to save over this one. Yes, I want to replace it because now it's filled out. Okay, so did that one. Okay, so that's the only form I believe that was fillable that I can fill out before I upload it into zip forms. So let me minimize all of this. Let me open up zip forms. Okay. I'm gonna just change just for the sake of time, I'm gonna change this transaction folder. Edit, edit, edit. There we go. So I'm gonna change this. Okay. Okay. I'm going to remove this form because it's a VA foreclosure. There's no 1 to 4. So I'm going to click delete document, delete that, delete. Okay. So I'm going to click add document. And I'm going to add all these. this one, and I'm going to do control select on the other one so I can add them all at the same time. Boom. So add to all these documents. Okay. Now I need to go in and do some editing. I need to add some text boxes and fill these out. So I'm going to click e-sign, create. Let's do this one first, this one second, third, fourth. Next. Okay. So I'm going to add the role of the buyer. His name is Jorge. So you're not going to put the company name, you're actually going to put his name that he's going to sign with. And then his email address, which we'll just say it's mine right now. Okay. So I added him, and I'm going to add myself. Selling agent. Okay. Done. Oh, I need to put add, so it adds me. Okay. So then when I click done, I want to make sure it has both of us here and it has our emails. If you see that the email or the name is wrong, just hover over it and just hit this edit button with the pencil. Okay. I'm going to click next. Okay. So remember, the first document was already filled out. Okay. But there's places that we need to sign, right? So look, it says signature of the purchaser, so I'm going to put their signature there. Date signed, put that there. Okay. Signature of principal broker or authorized representative. I'll put myself and put my signature here. And then date signed, did I sign? Put that here. Okay. Now I'm going to the next document. Oops, let me go back. Don't forget this. Might as well do it right since we're on the. Okay, so we're going to make sure that the buyer initials at the bottom. Okay. We need the signature of the buyer here. The date they signed here. And they still got to initial it. This gets people sometimes. Okay. And then the sales broker here. Okay, now we're at the next document. So I need to fill this out. So I'm going to do a text box here. The property address. I'm going to fill it out. Put the address, okay, and then stretch this box out. Give me enough room. Okay, I could put city and state if I want to, but I'm going to go a little quicker. Okay, REOID, we don't know what that is, so we just leave that blank on VA Foreclosures. But the most important thing on this page is making sure that you have the buyer initial, the middle of the page. It's basically saying that the property is being marketed subject to review of the title by the seller. Purchasers here notified that any offer is subject to delay of closing, cancellation, conveyance by a quitclaim deed. They will reject your offer in the back if your buyer does not sign this part or initial that part. Okay. This information, we'll go back through the text box. listing broker. Um, let's see, what is that? So we'll put Poly Properties. Okay. Next, ask for the listing agent. Okay, and then the date. So sometimes, real quick, sometimes on this, depending on the listing agent, they'll actually want this to be printed or like a signature on it. You know, you could typically what we'll do is we'll just have them sign it and then just date. Okay. So let's see what this says. Seller will not review the Seller will not review the property has been on the market 3 days. So this is basically them just wanting the buyer to acknowledge some things. So when submitting offers on VA properties, please submit the first page of this document as your cover offer. You can, to be honest, you don't have to. Okay. The seller will not review the property has been on the market unless the property has been on the market for 3 days. Okay, that's fine. Is the buyer an investor? We'll just put a check mark. Yes. Okay, you can use your text box and put yes if you want. Is the buyer first-time home buyer? No, he's not. Okay, is the buyer a veteran? If yes, you have to answer that. Is the veteran eligible to purchase VA properties? You'd answer that question. Is the buyer a licensed real estate agent? So this information you're just going to get from your agent. Or from the buyer themselves. Okay. So you put signature, buyer's agent signature. That's it for that document. This is some additional information the buyer and the agent need to know. Okay. Multiple offer disclosure forms. So the current date, I'm going to just put this. We don't know this ID number, buyer's name. Just put their name. The property address. Okay. So you put city and state there, you know what to do. Let's see here. Usually this will be filled out by the agent because they have to put the listing agent, I'm sorry, who's selling the property because they have to let us know when the deadline is, but he hasn't. He just put up a blank form. So, and then purchaser will sign it and date it. Okay. And after that, you're just going to come over here and click send, and you'll be good to go. Okay. So that's it. I know it's a long video, but I wanted to be as detailed as possible just to help you understand how to fill out a VA form. VA foreclosure offer. Different forms, same idea, same principles, just certain things to look out for, pay attention to. So again, remember, VA doesn't really pay any closing costs, so don't put anything there. VA has their own forms. You're going to want to download those from MLS, upload it, do the fillable contract, save them in Dropbox, upload them in the zip forms and DocuSign, fill out the rest of the information, send it off for signatures. Okay. Also, depending on who the agent is for VA foreclosures, sometimes they will, no matter what the MLS says, sometimes they will accept electronic signatures for offers, but then they'll require real signatures or wet signatures for the actual contract if it gets accepted. Some other people, they won't accept electronic signatures for offers. They want wet signatures from them, even if it's an offer that doesn't get accepted. So, you're just going to know who it is. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to reach out to them and say, hey, is it okay if we do electronic signature for this offer and it gets accepted? We do a real one, and see what they say. Other than that, you guys have a good rest of the day, and check out the next couple videos that will be getting out to you. Thanks, bye.